How much should you actually have saved by your age? Because online, I think we look at the explore pages of Instagram, Facebook, whatever it may be, and we look at other people. We always judge based off my circumstances, your circumstances, other people's. And I think that's the wrong thing to do. But the real figures tell a very interesting story. Today is the first day Andy Burnham realistically is Prime Minister. He wants to make some big changes. And some of those are household bills and making people have more money in their pocket. 1 in 6 adults have zero savings. That's the big buzzword here. Nearly 2 in 5 have less than £1,000. Again, crazy. So today we're going to go through the world of the UK savings and the issue that we have. And then this will hopefully gear up to the world of investing and being able to do better things. Because the thing that I get in the comments all the time is people can't afford to invest. And I get it. I understand it. But let's talk about the numbers. Now, going back to Andy Burnham, this morning, the first proper announcement is VAT to be removed off energy bills. That's going to put roughly £40 to £45 in people's pockets, essentially. Not a lot, but it is a good starting point. It's a bit of a, you could argue, a good direction of travel for the short term. It needs to continue. There's a lot of things that do need to be changed. We all know this. And when we talk about income, when we talk about expenses, when we talk about savings, then maybe into investing, I understand that not everyone wants to invest. I understand that people that have savings sometimes just want to spend it. Everyone has different habits. I get it. But the situation is very, very clear. Things have risen a lot. Prices from your coffee, from your energy bills, from bloody God knows what subscription services. When you look back at the past, things have changed. But let's talk about some clear numbers. Before you compare yourself, these are just averages, okay? I get it. And the thing in the UK, you have this huge divide, the north versus the south. Yes, London is stupidly expensive versus where I live. That's fine, but I will get paid less, technically, if I had a normal job. My missus has a lot lower job pay-wise versus, say, if she was living in London. But that's just the reality of England, essentially. As I say, don't watch this to think that you failed. These are averages because you may have, I don't know, 9 people in a room that have 100 quid, for example, and then you got one that's 100 grand. The averages are going to change, obviously. So just be mindful of that. And these are individual cash savings, not net worth, not your house equity, not what you've got in your crypto meme coins of cats or whatever. You get the idea. But also don't mix it up with pension wealth. Workplace pension is also not included here. Now let's start with the most surprising picture. The UK average savings is £19,214. The average for adults under the age of 55 is £9,888. That's boggling. I've always had this conception, and I've said it on my channel, and I probably am wrong now, and maybe not for all, but if you're older, you should be more settled in life. You should have more money. Your mortgage should be cleared, hopefully, if you've got a house. You should have kids growing up so you don't have to, do things around that. But again, we talk about the houses. The average owner price is roughly around the age of 34, 35 now, versus, say, 10 years ago, it was about 28, and maybe 20 years ago, probably 22. So it's a bit scary when you think that side of it's changed. Now, people who have less than £1,000, 39%. That's crazy. And then you talk about less than £200 or £200 or less, essentially, is 25%. What on earth? And the big one, no savings at all, 16%. By the way, if you're wondering where the data comes from, it's all from here, from Finder. And again, if you want a link to this, I've put a link down below. It's crazy, it's horrible, it's mental, but it needs to be addressed. And by the way, if you are down there and you see that little subscribe button, smash it. Also, smash the like button, comment. Comment where you are in life and your age. Be good to know. Ages 18 to 24. 2,699. Probably pretty good considering the age side of it with the world of uni nowadays and stuff like that. But over 60% of this number has less than £1,000. So you're probably understanding the world of studying, starting work, career progression, renting for the first time, maybe trying to get on your feet. It's quite hard with a lower salary. I get it. I was there too. But this is why I always say to people, if you try and put your money away or use Monzo with the roundups or something like that, right? Just try and get something going. This is why I say to people, £25 or £50 a month investing will make a difference as you get older, as you progress, as you get more money in life. But not everyone likes to do that. But also, the situation is very clear. People can't afford to do that. Now it ramps up a little bit between the age of 25 and 34. 11,023 quid. It's a big jump, I get it. But still, 46.2% have less than £1,000 in savings. Oof. This is where life becomes expensive. Weddings, mortgages, car payments, children. I have 2 myself. They all come at roughly the same sort of time, don't they? Between that age bracket. I've just jumped out of this age bracket. I'm 35 now. I did all right in life because of investing in crypto, having my head screwed on, and being in the military and learning about money via the military, which is great. But not everyone is in that situation. This is why you need to aim for that emergency fund. Have something in play for the long term in case your car blows up or your mortgage falls through, or I don't know, whatever happens in your house these days. You know, something could go wrong quite quickly when you got a house. But also, luckily, if you got a good job, your pension contributions should be increasing and life should be going well. But it isn't for everyone, I know. Now, this is the interesting one. Ages 35 to 44, it kind of treads water for a while. Only £13,379 is the average. 42.8% have less than £1,000 or less. So despite earning more, the averages haven't really moved much. This is, again, probably why most things are getting swallowed by childcare, mortgages, cost of living. But maybe getting kids later on in life as well might also be a bit of a situation here. Because you are still in that bracket where, you know, your children will be living at home. So yeah, I get it. iPhones are expensive. Most kids will probably want one. But this is really the bracket of age where you should be investing. You should be putting money away for your future, for your pensions, for, you know, investing in stocks and shares, ISA for tax efficiency, all that kind of good stuff. If you're not doing it within this age bracket, you need to. And that's kind of like not financial advice, but common sense advice, if that makes sense. You've got to think of the future. If you jump on my website, if you go to start here, it'll give you a list of all the stuff. What I do have here in the members section, put in your email address. I know. There's a wealth tracker. See where you are. Put everything in there. See where you are. You can look at the goals. You can look at the future. You can put a growth CAGR in there of the averages, which is default set anyways. Might well say where you might be. So don't be that person, right, who goes to a financial advisor at the age of 55 or 60 and go, right, I want to start thinking of my retirement, and you've got nothing left. This is kind of the point of this video. Now, ages 45 to 54 blows my brains. 12,452. It goes lower. 41% have less than £1,000 or less. What? How does it go low? It's a surprising dip, I know. This, I don't think, means the situation of cash savings is getting worse. I just think people are getting better. But still, cash should be there for emergency purposes. So yeah, you may be getting more people moving into pensions, investments, or maybe house overpayments or mortgage equity. I get it. It's wealth, but it's not cash, it's savings. This could be a problem if things go wrong, but also they are the averages. But I'd like to see it a bit higher. Don't know about you guys, but you probably may agree with me. But when we go to the age 55 plus, it's 33,420. Why does it grow so much? So it's interesting, isn't it? How one side's got nothing, then all of a sudden you've got liquidity of cash. 27.3% have £1,000 or less. Yes, the kids are away probably. University, got their own house. Kids, they're expensive. Mortgages might be paid off, whatever. But still, too early really to retire, have cash sitting in the bank, versus, say, investments, as an example. More cash just means maybe a bit closer to retirement, but it might not be fully working for you. But let's look at the 3 clear buckets. As I've alluded to it, emergency cash is bucket number 1. Money for normal spends, your bills, the bollocks, basically. Bucket number 2 is emergency/short-term savings for your holidays, if your car blows up, or if you've got a wedding planned or anything silly like that. And bucket number 3, long-term investing. Because investing's key. Really, it is key. You need money. You need savings. You need a plan in life. You need a budget. And again, go into the screen, go to the budget planner, put in all your numbers and your figures and see where you are. And if you are a free member on my website, you can also go to my ETF screen and you can find good investments. I am going to be upgrading this quite a lot in the next couple of weeks. Feel free to jump in. But ultimately, it's not hard to start as an investor now versus, say, 20, 30 years ago. But the situation is very, very clear. People don't want to do it, and I get it. Everyone's different. But there's some interesting numbers on the NatWest Savings website here that There is some money put aside, but not enough. The average monthly savings is £288. 1 in 5 have emergency savings. The average of an emergency fund is roughly £5,776. Probably not enough. So let me know. Where do you stack up on the averages? Maybe you are a full-on investor. Maybe you are a full-on saver. Long as you don't have that situation of income, bad expenses, I don't want to save, I want to spend all my money and then have nothing to live on, that could be a problem. You need to understand that having income, understanding your expenses and saving for the future is a good starting point. What matters is not being a part of the averages, is making sure that each month you're getting better and then let it build. But let me know in the comments, where do you stack up? And if you've not yet done so, please do like, comment, subscribe, and watch this video here. This might well help you when it comes to picking your first ever investment if you are new to the world of investing.